Um, if nothing else, I'm gonna learn something.
Yeah, we haven't done a tech episode in a while either.
No, yeah,
So,
it's been a hot minute.
yeah. And I figured, like, your questions you're going to have is probably going to eat up enough time to fill in the gaps that, you know, we
Yeah.
need in here. Um, the only thing I was going to do different here is start at 3, where it's like air pump versus compressor,
Yeah.
and then start with, like, what onboard air is and explaining everything.
Okay. So what? Okay. Cool. Get the chat opened up here. There we go. There we go. Who do we have on the other end? Who's watching? I see you in there. Show yourself. Dude, you're getting dumped on. I was just looking at the radar.
Yeah, yeah, it's bad. They were calling for inch and a quarter hail just north of me.
That's not fun.
No.
Yeah, we've got the full lightning effect. I think we should change the color to something really ominous, like some reds. It's really.
I went up to Green Ridge last night.
Oh, look at that green for Green Ridge. Um,
Yeah.
I saw that. How was that?
It's awesome, dude. I went down on Site 51. It's like on the south side of Jacobs, right
Okay,
on the power lines. So there was
nice.
the fire break, and man, like rolled in, checked the inclinometer on the truck, and it was zeros, and I was like, perfect. Just pull the e-brake, and dude, I was collecting fire. I was a scavenger, man. I went around to like all the campsites and gathered the scrap. I
Just
had
took all
a
their firewood.
yes. You know what? They were going around cleaning out fire pits. Like they were some of the nicest fire pits I've seen Green Ridge have in a while. But
Yeah.
whenever they cleaned them out, they just took all the wood that was there and like set it beside the fire pit. So yeah, I just scavenged everything, and dude, I had a hell of a fire till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's sweet. No
Yep.
fires tonight.
No,
Definitely no fires tonight.
I've got a hell of a bonfire to light off back here. I should do that tonight now since it rained.
Yeah.
We get done 1 o'clock. I'm throwing a root flare.
Well, we made some crazy time coming home last night. I think we left at it was maybe like 10:15. I think we got home at like 4:20, 4:30. But I don't know why I pushed it on fuel to Breezewood. I should have just fueled before Breezewood because
Hancock. Hancock's
yeah,
always cheaper.
it was like 4:39 at the Breezewood Sheets.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yep.
Oh well. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a pretty decent week. A little sunburn on my nose, but yeah, we were owed some good weather because the last 2 years were terrible. I mean, the year before last wasn't too bad, but it was still wasn't nice. Last year was like torturous, so it was nice to have a good one.
Yeah. I burnt the hell out of the top of my feet. Like they are just now getting to the point where like the layers of skin have stopped coming off and they're not oozing anymore. And like I had a real bad sunburn, so it's like, well, they're healed. Let's go back.
Oh my, yeah, that's
But
cool. You guys are kind of close enough to be able to just scoot over and do it.
yeah, it's I don't know. If we go to Ocean City, it's like a 4.5 hour drive. But if we go into Rehoboth, it's like 3.5.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Not bad. No, and Annapolis. I mean, we can be at the Bay Bridge hour and a half. So, going down to check my sister's house, like, she's going to pay me gas, and, at that point, it's 3 hours of drive time. Like, we're just going to go down and hang around the coast somewhere.
Yeah.
So, it'll be cheap.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun. I think it's supposed to be nice out. I don't know. Anything's better than right
Yeah.
now. Getting dumped on
Yeah.
too. So I
Yeah,
actually
it
had
was,
pulled the generator out because I anticipated losing power, so that we could do the show on generator power.
I was looking at power stations, and I did not realize they had some of the bigger ones for the prices they do now. Like,
Yeah.
I think, what was it, Blue Yeti had is it Elite 300, I think it is, has like a 220 plug on it.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah, they're pretty
1,000,
sweet.
1,200 bucks. Like, that's almost worth just keeping around.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you figure you got a power outage for, 4 or 5 hours, at least run the house.
Yeah. Well, think about it in like on the back of like a U-Haul box truck that's been converted. Like,
Yeah.
ultimate stealth camping setup. Like, you just got a battery thing that just slide it in, couple plugs, good to go. Shits the bed, you go buy another one.
Yeah, the ice cream man at the beach had some sort of big battery bank. It's pretty cool. Very haggard. I mean, I'm talking full on. This guy floated over from some Cuban boat in the 60s.
He brought a
and
square grouper with him.
He's been selling ice cream ever since. But yeah, he had this real haggard battery bank. I don't know if it was powering the deep freeze or what. Kind of looked like it was.
Probably.
So, yeah. I mean, I imagine once it stays cold, or once it gets cold, it's not that much heat. Probably had solar on top.
I was already thinking that. I was like, yeah, I'd have solar going, like, the umbrella, just triangle panels.
Ugh. Well, the clock struck 10. Want to do the
Yeah.
show?
Yeah, let's do the show. Is it just us here?
Right.
Nobody's here?
We got 2 on YouTube right
Okay.
now, I think. But there's been people in and out, so yeah. All right, welcome back everybody to the Camo Convoy Podcast. Tonight, Aaron's gonna teach me something because I don't know what we're talking about, and it's his job. Tonight, we're talking air, and I don't mean the air that we breathe. Well, a little bit, but what I'm talking about is compressed air. So these are going to be your onboard compressors, your air pumps. We're going to talk about how we're going to use them, what's best for you, and hopefully during the show, Aaron doesn't blow away. Because if you hear that, that's the weather outside of Aaron's house right now. It doesn't sound very friendly out there. What's going on outside?
We had a hell of a storm. It's on its way out now. A bunch of lightning out there. It's gonna get better.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. If we hopefully we don't lose any power, and we'll plug on through. So yeah, man, tonight we're gonna talk air, onboard air. So learn me. What should people know? What
So-
should I know?
Well, I think we should start at what's an air compressor and what's an air pump, and the differences between them. So, air pumps. These are going to be stuff for like inflatable air mattresses, even a tire pump. Like, if you don't have a tank, it's not a compressor. You got to have a place to store it in order for it to be a compressor. So you're looking at stuff that's just moving air. Most of the time, this is like high flow, low pressure stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So like the what is this? Like the Coleman blow up your air mattress
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Yeah. Yep. But, you can also have like the piston pumps that are the tire inflators,
I got you. Okay. Um.
And that gets into one of those things where like same design, but they do different jobs. Like, you can have a piston compressor that is low pressure and other ones that are higher pressure. Some will make more flow, some will make less flow. So
Okay.
Type dictates it, but it doesn't too.
Yeah. But for the overlanding context, I mean, I guess short of, blowing up your sleeping system, we're probably on the compressor side of things, right?
Yeah, I would think so. The pump stuff is going to be very much entry level. I was thinking like the Viair stuff, the Smitty built. Even I think Harbor Freight has some options where you're you're kind of limited on what you're going to get with that stuff. Um, you're probably not blowing up big tires. You're entry level. It's going to be your cheapest option, and you're only going to do tires. There
Yeah.
are some pumps like Viair that are great starter pumps that can be moved into a compressor setup later if you're conscious of what you're doing. But yeah,
Yeah. So I guess the difference between the two then, what would you say the primary difference, just to sum it up then, for air pump to compressor?
a air pump moves volumes of air. A compressor will press it and make pressure.
Okay. All right. I like that. I should be taking notes actually. All right, that's cool. So I guess I don't know. Want to talk about the fun one, which is mounting the stuff in your truck and going on board?
Well, we can, yes. So this is, I think this is one of those things where I regretted it when I did it, or shortly after I did it, because it took up so much space in the truck, and I was only using it for inflating tires. Like I kind of was like, oh, I'll use it for air tools, and never did. But as the truck's evolved, I've gotten more into it with like the airbags and wanting to put water on. But yeah, onboard systems, these are complicated. They've got the tanks, the pressure switch, there's draining water out of them, a lot of electrical stuff with them. Filters, how you run the intake is important. What hoses you run. It's another system to the vehicle that gets added.
Yeah. Well, why don't we talk about then, somebody that wants to decide, okay, I don't just want to pump up tires, but I would like to design my onboard air system. There's something else that I want to do, and we'll talk about what those other things would be, maybe a little bit later. But how do we go about designing that system so it makes sense for our vehicle or for our camper, RV, whatever it may be?
So we need to figure out what PSI we actually need. If we're just inflating tires, it's not going to matter. But if you're running like ARB air locker, those things require pressure. If you're going to run air tools, 90 psi. There's some ultra high pressure stuff on the market that goes up to 200 that I don't think anybody is really needing unless I don't know. Are there some shocks like air shocks maybe?
Um, I don't
There's got
know.
to be a reason like that
Yeah,
for
I
that to
mean,
exist.
I would think that maybe I don't know what you call them, the big like semi truck looking overland thing, like earth roamers running air through the
Yeah,
humps.
yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah, that's probably a good use for it. But
Yeah,
most of us are probably not going to do that.
yeah,
We need to know what we're going to need flow wise too. Like, I'm trying to think here. Like if you're running water, like we're gonna get to that, how to set that up. But if you're running tank, like there's a volume of water that's leaving the tank that you have to replace with compressed air. So you need a bigger pump to be able to feed that. So between those two things, that'll give you the ability to kind of size your compressor, and then you shop by duty cycle. Is this something
duty.
that? Yeah.
So
So
why don't we back up that, because
okay.
I don't know that a lot of people maybe understand what duty cycle means. So if we're looking at a compressor, what would a duty cycle mean for somebody who is shopping for a compressor? Can we get a duty cycle counter in the chat? Just duty.
It's gonna be a lot. Uh, so this is this is how long it can run over the course of 10 minutes, right? I think it's the actual definition of it, or is it an hour?
I don't know that the time is set, but I don't know how. I honestly don't know how that is for air, for an air compressor. Like I know, winches rate it at you know I think it's in a minute if I'm not mistaken. Like I want to say the Harbor Freight winches can run uh, it's like 45 seconds on and then 15 minutes off, I think is what a Harbor Freight winch duty cycle is. So I think it's just going to be different based on the manufacturer. I don't know if there's a blanket thing for air or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that, but basically it's going to be a percentage of time that it needs to be on and off. And anything less than 100, you're probably going to be upset with yourself. It's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm at with it. But there's a lot of stuff that factors into that too. Like if you take say, I think Viair has some, I think 30%, 33% duty cycle pumps, but that's just their testing. Like if you were to throw a fan on it or mount it like down where the radiator fan would be, where you're blowing air across it, you could get that up higher. Like it becomes a thermal thing where these things can't get rid of heat quick enough. So if you
Yeah.
can do something to get rid of the heat, now you can help the duty cycle go on longer.
That makes sense. And I guess, there's going to be things within your system where you might need a low duty cycle. Like, I would assume that running, let's say you're airing up 37s, you probably do need a pretty high duty
Yep.
cycle pump. However, if you run 31s and an air locker, probably don't need to up yourself as much as you would if you were, inflating large tires.
Yeah. The only thing a well, let me back up. The smaller pumps are the ones that I'm thinking have a lesser duty cycle, and they work great on the small tire stuff. Where you start running into issues with small tire stuff is most of your buddies are on small tires, and if you're entry level, they probably don't have a pump. So your pump becomes the community pump. So my
Yeah.
suggestion is always go for the 100% duty cycle because you're going to be community air most of the time. Just
Yeah.
bite the bullet and do it.
No, that I'm fully on board with that because like if you think about it, so let's say that you have a 50% duty cycle that can run at 100 psi over 10 minutes, right? So 50% duty cycle, 100 psi, 10 minutes. That means you can only run the pump for 5 minutes, and then the other 5 minutes has got to cool off. So I'm probably just gonna pony up and spend for the 100. My personal thoughts are, I think you should always think like I'm going to be using this to pump up my tires and somebody else's tires. I mean, I robbed your air in Michigan, and it was way better than pulling out my little air pump from, I don't even remember what I had with me, either the Viair or the other one. But regardless, it was much faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's convenient with mine just having the hose hooked up and the, regular chuck on it. Just, here you go, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now there's another acronym here, which is CFM, the cubic feet per minute.
So this one's important. And this kind of goes in with the duty cycle too. Compressors are rated, this is all compressors, not just the overland stuff. They are rated as a CFM at a different pressure. Now, this is cubic feet per minute. All right, this is a measure of volume of air. Doesn't matter the pressure. It changes flow because it changes the density of the air through whatever it's traveling in. But this is where like you'll see a compressor advertised with, I don't know, what's a Smitty built? Aren't those like 10.4 CFM or something? You'll see some ridiculously
Yeah.
high CFM compared to like a name brand one like Viair or ARB.
It's lies.
It's lies because they're giving you that CFM at 0 psi.
Yep.
You want to look at what it's doing at 40 because this is going to be your tire pressure range, and what it's doing at 100. That'll give you like your air tool range, and it goes back to like an impact is going to eat, I don't know, a little bit of air. Pop, pop, it's off. you go put a air grinder on it, you're only going to have your tank as your reserve. You're going to run out. You can't feed that air grinder constantly on these smaller overland pumps.
Yeah, and that was a great point. I just want to reiterate that when you are shopping for a compressor, let's say that your highway tire pressure is 40 psi. Look at that see what that manufacturer says the CFM is at 40 psi. Because if it's like 1, or point 0.8, you're gonna be pumping for a while. So, yeah, I know for a fact that that's how. It's one of the pumps that I have. I actually don't know who makes it, but it was definitely marketing like that. I went and I ordered the thing, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, this looks like a pretty small piston.
Yeah.
It took quite some time. It was actually worse than my Viair, which I have had forever. By the way, I'm a big Viair pump fan. I think they do a fantastic job. No,
they're
affiliation,
serviceable,
but they're serviceable. That was what I was
yep.
going to say.
They're serviceable, and their specs are usable. They give you like realistic, usable specs, and like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we got our acronyms right. We got our pressure. We got our CFM. We have what else? We've talked about the types of compressors. So, I guess we need to talk about how to mount these things and how to wire them up, because it's not as simple as just putting a pump in the truck and calling it good. There's a lot of complex systems there with, I'm sure, check valves, and I know you're probably more the one to talk to or talk about this with your, you have airbags. So what does a system look like? What does routing look like when you install onboard air?
So for me, I ended up moving some stuff around under the engine bay, and mine is shoved in the corner, like up by the brake booster. The intake actually comes through my engine air filter. I've got it pre-filtering through that, and it like comes across the radiator and goes up to that pump. You want to make sure you don't undersize it there. I think my pump was like 1/4 NPT, but I think I ran like half or 5/8 tubing over to the airbox, something bigger. Anytime you're trying to suck through a long straw like this, you're going to get a lot of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, the pump's going to compress it. You're going to want some sort of heat-resistant plumbing coming out of the pump and a check valve. All the Viair stuff comes with a check valve. This is so that when the compressor turns off, it will vent pressure off of the head, so that when it goes to restart, it's not fighting head pressure.
Okay. That makes sense.
It keeps that sudden inrush of amps low.
Yeah.
But check valve, and then a lot of them, like if you buy the Viair onboard air kit, they show that the pump gets mounted right to the tank on like a little 1-inch or 1 foot stainless like braided hose.
Yeah.
But with mine, like I went, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet with, I want to say metal, and then I got into rubber, which I'm surprised hasn't blown off the barb yet. And then I think I got into like one-touch plastic fittings going the rest of the way through the truck. And I've been okay with that so far.
Yeah. Those are like the shark bite looking things, right?
Yeah, they're the DOT, like, airline fitting stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I like those a lot. You're not messing with worm clamps.
Yeah.
It's easy to take apart. Most of the time when they're not packed with dirt, they're replaceable. You can get them.
Yeah. What about the actual tank? And also, I guess I should say, running a tank versus not running a tank. What are your thoughts on that?
You have to run a tank.
Yeah.
I think the only way, I mean, to put it bluntly, I think you would be dumb not to put a tank on. Like, you're mounting a compressor, just put the tank on.
Yeah.
The only way I say no to that is air locker. Like if you're only running an air locker, I think ARB has like a little manifold or something with a pressure switch in it that like it'll get you by. But what do? They kick on there, done. I
Yeah,
think that's how the locker pumps work.
yeah. And I'm a little opinionated here on the tank too. I think running a really small tank is also kind of dumb. You're going through all of the steps of running onboard air. I think whatever you can fit that doesn't become like a major modification to something else, you should go. And if you're between two sizes, just up the size. You're never going to be like, damn, I wish I didn't have this extra air with me. It's not like it weighs anything.
Exactly. The bigger the tank you can fit, the better off you're going to be. Um, I have looked at plumbing my sliders into it, bumpers and stuff. Like air capacity is a big deal.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be
So,
pretty interesting. Imagine hitting a rock and
ching! Airbags just deflate.
yeah. Okay, so how about pressure switches? Any tips or tricks for anybody who is
Oh,
building a kit from scratch and is like, all right, well, I need to be able to tell my compressor when to turn on, and how do I do it with that
one of
guy?
those. Is it going to?
A little bit, little pressure switch. There it is.
Yeah. Those are the cheap ones. I like them, but you cannot run these without some sort of solenoid. Since we're on pressure switches, I like these because they're not adjustable and they're sealed. Like this works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Normal blade connections. They're the ones to go for. Otherwise, you're into like pretty much the same thing that's on like your shop compressor. It's like a big switch with a lever on it. I don't know of any other styles of pressure switches really.
Yeah, are there digital variants of a pressure switch for
Uh,
this context? I guess.
I'm sure something exists, but I'm not super familiar with it.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's something like that out there, but I'm really only familiar. I've only ever used what you just pulled out.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I think the ones that are like digital all have like some sort of controller in it, and they've been like 480-volt machines.
yeah. So what are your thoughts on things like filters and dryers? Because for a lot of folks, they might not be using this pump all the time. So it's kind of possible that there's going to be moisture that makes it into the system and then just sits around. And I would assume that becomes very problematic over time and over the winter months.
Yes. So, whenever you compress air, this is just physics, okay? Whenever you compress air, you heat it up. When it cools down, the water condenses out of it. It's easier for people to understand. You just squeeze the water out. It's not exactly what happens, but the water comes out of the air. It lays somewhere. Your tank is metal. It is a, was it steel? Probably steel. It's gonna
Yeah.
rust.
Yeah.
All right, it's not painted on the inside. It 100% is going to rust. This, I don't know. Does it really matter how much water's in there? As long as it stays below your output, probably not. But you're going to want to drain it. It's going to rust. It's eventually going to get a hole in it. Like if it gets filled full of water and all you're doing is tires, you're just pumping water into your tires. Like
Yeah.
there's farmers that do that. Some people say it helps with balance. I don't know, man. Your TPMS
Yeah.
sensor won't be happy. But
Who's
you gotta
got those?
yeah, I don't. But yeah, like drain your tanks. This is important. Filters. I don't run any filters on my truck. Um, I probably, when I do my water tank, I will have some sort of particulate and oil removing filter just to catch any slime and nastiness. Like my pump's oilless. They all should be. I don't know of any oil lubricated pumps. So for us in the overlanding world, we're not worried about that. But I just want something that's like just it's going to catch something, you know.
Yeah.
And then that goes into the water. But I don't know your air lockers. You might want a particular filter on.
Yeah, that's probably pretty smart. I didn't even really think about that. Um, yeah, I think if I'm running lockers and they're air, I probably would run a
Yeah,
filter.
it's
You know.
just like one of those things like piece of rust breaks free in the tank and goes through, catches your solenoid and locks it on. Well, that's a problem.
Yeah. Are there? Here's kind of something I never really thought of this, but I guess you really ought to protect the inlet of your compressor. I know you said you run yours. Sounds like a crust air box. It's like a pre-filter. Um, we should really consider protecting that inlet from water and splashes when you mount that thing.
Yes. The I think the Vire comes with like a almost looks like a Scotch Brite pad and a little disc like screw on thing on the back,
Yeah.
and it was a common pipe thread, so I just went and got fittings and ran the pipe across, and yeah, it's getting air from the snorkel.
Yeah. That's smart. Um, that is smart. And I'm paying attention to this. And I'm trying to think because I'm in the process of designing my air setup for the Yukon. I'd like it to be very robust and almost like service truck level of air, and not like overland level of air. So I want all the air.
Potato gun levels. I get it. I hear you.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. Well, I need to be able to return fire.
Camo's
So
going that way.
yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll do Michaud again. We'll go to Gettysburg, and then we'll do the camo reenactment of Pickett's Charge. Some other things to think about too are heat. These things get hot when they start
Yes.
running.
Yes. So anytime you compress air, you make heat. Not so much of a problem if you're doing one tire. Some of the little handheld pumps, they get hot when they've been running 5 minutes or so, just screaming along, putting 20 pounds of air in your tire. They get hot. They will burn you. The bigger pumps are just as bad. So you want to make sure, like, I see compressors mounted in, is it Jeeps? Where, like, you can buy the mounting bracket for, like, the ARB twin compressor and throw it under the passenger seat.
Yeah, I don't
I
really like
horrible.
that.
No, I don't like that at all. One, it's gonna be loud as hell inside, but two, like there's a lot of heat and vibration, but there's a lot of heat that's going to come off of that thing.
Yeah, I saw a Nissan guy actually who made. I'm pretty sure it was for the ARB twin compressor setup as well, and he mounted his under the rear seat, where like the subwoofer would be, or sometimes there's like a storage locker
For
there.
maximum airflow, cooling.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, dang, I do not want that thing near me, and I don't want to hear it. Like that is generators and air compressors are two things that we have just not been able to quiet down. They're loud.
They're loud. I've never come up to a quiet air compressor.
No, no, and I've worked in a lot of oil and gas settings where the compressor, like to be outside of the compressor house, you have to have hearing protection. To be inside, you have to have double hearing protection, and your
Yes.
eyeballs are bouncing around, and you can't. I mean, it's no joke. It's no
Yes.
joke, and the heat those things generate is just scary.
Astronomical. Yeah.
Yeah,
They make
yeah,
heat right now.
yeah. And man, and this is a good tie into a lot of the other things that we've talked about too. Like, I would not at all go haggard or skip steps or be lazy when it comes to the wiring for your compressor.
Yes. This was some of the most important wiring you do on the vehicle because it's going to draw the most amps for the longest duration. There will be nothing else on your vehicle besides maybe an alternator charger for a battery bank that's going to pull this level of power.
Yeah.
and it's going to get more as it builds pressure. The harder that pump has to work, the bigger the load it's going to draw.
Yeah. And this is one of those deals where you might maybe not want to wire this thing through, your switch panel from Oxbeam or Nylite, or they got the one at Harbor Freight now. You probably can, right? But let's just look at what your system is and what your system has going on. Like, let's say that you have maybe like a little 3 or a 6 gang system, and those three things are 8 off-road lights on one circuit, a trans fan, and I don't know, something else. And you introduce a compressor to that, I would feel pretty confident in stating that you're probably going to overcome whatever the rated wiring was for that device. It's not a guarantee, but it's something you should really
It's pretty
look at.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this thing's treated like a winch. Like you wouldn't run your winch through one of those switches, so
No. No.
this is going to be direct to battery.
Yep.
I run a 10-second delay relay that's tied into the ignition because like my truck needs the airbags to work. Every time my truck's running, the air compressor needs to run. So that lets me start the truck. It runs for 10 seconds, kind of sorts itself out, and then hammers the compressor so that it doesn't hit the alternator immediately.
And I think that should be standard on anyone you
Yes.
buy. And I can't believe that it's not, actually. So, real quick, for anyone that's listening that has onboard air, is thinking about onboard air, can you kind of just review what that is again and how simple it is to wire in that delay relay?
So this is basically it's a 5-pin relay. Looks just like the rest of the standardized 5-pin relays you're going to get with like lights or whatever, stuff comes with relays. It's a 30 amp. It's just a 10-second delay once it receives power. So whatever your signal for on is, it gets it and waits 10 seconds and then closes the relay. It's instant off. As soon as the power comes off, it closes. Or
Yeah.
opens. It opens. But it just delays the on.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. We actually had a question pop up here in chat
Yeah.
for compressors and winches for Anderson connectors, and what amperage rating should they go with if they go that route, which is great. So I like Anderson connectors. I do know that they have varying ratings, and they also have varying weather ratings with them as well, if I'm not mistaken. For the winch, I'm trying to think. Is it Badlands or Smitty Built comes with the big boy Anderson connectors for like 2-aught or 0-aught wire? I want to
I
say
didn't know they
that's
were doing that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the
Um,
Anderson connectors. I think they're some of the best connections you can get as far as sizing it goes. Like that depends on your compressor and winch, what the amp draw stuff is. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna be a bear, be a grizzly, man. Like whatever the rating is, go up 1 or 2.
I agree. I was gonna say for the winch, I think bigger is always better. It's just one of those ones that, and really the compressor too.
Yeah.
You know.
The longer that compressor runs, the more amps it's gonna pull. It's gonna get hotter, and it's gonna be working harder. So,
Yeah, I think I'm running 2s, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't even know the sizes of them. It's been so long since I looked at them.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Anderson connectors, and I think as long as you size them appropriately, and like Aaron said, just size up, and yeah, it's a great setup.
I think that's like you should do your wiring the whole way through. Size up for whatever it calls for. Just go bigger. You will never regret that.
Yeah, you're not going to see voltage drop and stuff. None of that's going to matter for what we're doing.
Yeah.
What about, I guess we didn't really talk about, I mean, we did a little bit here, but the physical place that you put it, we've talked about, and by it I mean the compressor, we've talked about not putting it under your ass or your passenger's ass. But also, like, directly over top of the exhaust manifold is also not smart.
Yep, not smart. Inside your spare tire in the back is probably not smart either. Um,
No.
unless you're like just a suburban rolling around on the streets with an air horn, like my one buddy. Like I can kind of get down with that. But for us, like in the mud and stuff, I don't know that I want a compressor mounted underneath the vehicle.
Yeah. So that's something that I'm trying to figure out right now. My vehicle had an option for a factory air compressor, and that location was frame mounted, kind of like above the rear axle, driver's side, I think.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, but it's going to get really gross. So I had considered some type of enclosure splash guard deal, but then I'm worried about heat. You know,
Yep.
so I don't know what
What's
the best.
what's the rating on the Viers? Are they like IP? Was it 67 or something?
You know what? I don't know. I would wager that they can probably be splashed a lot. I
Yeah.
don't know what
Yeah. I mean, it's a
submersion
brushed
is.
motor.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a motor on an RC car, one of the old Titan ones, and you used to break them in a glass of water.
In water.
In
Yeah.
water. So I
Yeah.
don't. I think it would be more like winter salt or your beach adventures would kill it before the water does.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this goes back to if you throw it on a delay every time it starts, it's working every time. Whether you need air or not, it's moving the parts. So even if it is getting crusty, it's not getting crusty long. It's only sitting around for a couple days and then it's
Yeah.
pumping again.
Don't let the old man in. That is the. That's everything. That's
Yeah.
everything. That needs to be a slogan for all of your tools and all of your overlanding stuff and all of your maintenance and your own health. Don't let the old man in. Just keep using it. You don't use it, you lose it.
Yep. Yep. But I would probably move the intake someplace.
What's that?
I would move your intake someplace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even if it's
tail,
like the tail light.
tail light. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the loop.
Yeah. Now your tank, pretty much put your tank anywhere. I would put it somewhere where the drain valve is gonna get blasted
Yep.
off. But
Well,
yeah,
it's got to be the lowest point. It's kind of like
yes,
you you got to take it. The only way you can get around that is by putting like a 90 on it with a hose going up to a ball valve to like your fender or something. But it's still a low point that's going to break off. Like
yeah,
you're either going to make a skid plate over it. You're not supposed to weld the tanks, but you're either going to do that or you're just going to know and be conscious of it.
yep, definitely. What about like a relief valve safeties? What do you think for
That's where I
that?
was going to go. So if you buy a kit, they're going to come with a safety valve. If you have to buy one, I can pretty much guarantee every one you come across is going to flow enough. If you're sizing something bigger like a house compressor, there'll be a CFM rating on it. You need to be, I'd say, 5 times higher than that to be safe.
Yeah,
But it's a pressure thing. You're going to buy them whatever pressure. They make 90s and whatever. Just make sure it's higher than your cut out pressure, which is your max pressure the pump's going to make,
yeah,
but not crazy high. Like you don't want one that's cutting off at 120 and you have a 200 psi safety valve. You want a 135. When
yeah.
that thing goes off, you don't want it to be twice what your normal pressure is. It's too late.
Yep. So my personal air compressor, like shop air, my pressure switch actually died in it. I would have assumed that would have just meant that the machine would just open air and not build pressure. False. It
False.
just keeps on going until it rockets out the pressure relief as the needle on that thing is pegged at like 175 psi.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, they
hellacious
kick on.
noise.
Hell, dude, is the best way to clear a mechanical room is just kick a ball valve or pull a safety valve. You will empty that place. I just put muffs on.
Yeah.
tank down. They are loud.
And they're scary. In like oil and gas, a lot of the pressure relief valves have a very heavy spring in them. So instead of just off, they sound like a Jake brake. You know,
Yeah,
that's
they'll do
good. That was a good clip for somebody there. But, anyway, yeah, they make a hell of a noise. But yeah, just like a shut off for your winch, do not run one. You need to have one.
Yes. There is nothing more dangerous on your vehicle besides the gasoline. It is the compressed air. Like, it needs to be treated
It's not a
with
joke.
respect.
Yeah.
That all. Like, you will lose your life on this. I cannot even begin to tell you how much energy is in just 15 psi of air. It is a lot, and we're dealing with 120, 150. Some of these are 200. This is like bad stuff can happen at these pressures.
Yeah, and if you have an SUV, I mean, so one of my jobs actually, when I was real heavy in the oil and gas, was I had to calculate all of the public safety setback distances for pressure testing, right? And the way that works is basically you take the test pressure and you take all of the specifics of the pipe, so like the diameter of the pipe, thickness of the pipe, material of the pipe, and then you take the volume of the pipe, right? And you actually convert that potential energy into pounds of TNT, right? And some of these pipe systems, it was like an unbelievable, unfathomable number of potential energy equating to pounds of TNT. And the setback distances were like 800 feet from some of these systems, you know? Like, we would literally have to take the test tree so far away from the rest of the system. And I mean, there's been fatalities in oil and gas and across all industries from what you would think is like, oh, well, it's no big deal, like that system only has 15 psi on it. Well, yeah, there's 6,000 cubic feet of pipe that it's pushed behind. And I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. This happens very frequently in sanitary testing, and sometimes water testing as well. So if you're going to test that system, the way that it works is you plug off the ends, right? And the way that you do that is you shove what looks like a big cylindrical rubber plug into the pipe, and you inflate it. Then you start airing up the system, right? Well, if you have a leak on that system, you have to bleed the entire system down and then reset your plug. Well, what happens hundreds of times a year across the industry is that, oh, well, the test is bleeding down. As the test is bleeding down, which only has like 10 psi on it.
It's not a lot.
Only 10 psi. So the poor young apprentice will go down the manhole, and he's going to go and he's going to clean that plug. And now he's sitting in front of it, and he takes off the pressure from the plug, which is, only about yay big, so it bleeds down real quick. The second it loses pressure, there's an enormous air spring behind it that rockets it into the guy's chest, and a lot of guys have been maimed from that happening for something as little as 10 psi. So the volume of your system can cause you some serious trouble if you don't respect it. So like me, for instance, I'm over here saying, yeah, I want like service truck level air, and I do. I need to be very cognizant of the fact that if I like half-ass it, you really hurt somebody. So do not take air. Don't treat it like water. Like water, you do a hydro test. Water's not a spring. Water doesn't compress. Anyone that owns a Dodge Ram that has been through a puddle knows that water doesn't compress.
So that's a really good lead into, because there's a lot of us that wrench on our own stuff, or we're in somebody else's shop. Somebody has run Schedule 40 or Schedule 80 PVC pipe in their shop and hooked airline to it off of their piston pump. Some guys are running screws in the garage if, bougie. But Guys, the oil vapors attack the PVC. As time goes on, this gets brittle. Plastic gets brittle, like UV light attacks it. All it takes is for some kid with a bicycle handle to come across and hit that thing, and it shatters, and it's a bomb. It
Yep.
is grenade. Like,
Yep.
and this is guaranteed. It's probably 175 psi. Bubba done
Oh, it's
cranked up
cranked.
the compressor.
It's cranked.
It's
Yep.
cranked to the max. Like,
He got to
yeah,
get
it's
his
going.
homemade sandblaster running.
Yes, yes. He turns up the pressure because he ran out of volume, which also reduces volume of the pump. So it all snowballs here. But
Yep.
to stay on topic, if you see this, guys, this is dangerous. Like, there's stuff on the market. There's Rapid Air that's cheap. That's what I've run in my garage. It's like a PEX pipe. PEX is another one that's not rated for air. Any of these just straight plastic pipes, no go. Like,
Yeah.
OSHA says no to it, and most of the time we're like, yeah, OSHA, what? No. You make damn sure you're not running plastic pipes with air.
Yeah. I honestly don't even like the little gummy accordion airline. It comes with a
Oh!
lot of air pumps. I don't really like. I don't really like that. I know I have some upstairs. I don't think I have any down here. But I'm not a. Yeah, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind hooking that up to like low pressure. I mean, whatever. But I feel like not only are you choking down to what is that, like quarter inch?
It's quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so even this has risk of bursting. Do not exceed 200 psi, which is probably rated at like 70 degrees and goes down drastically as temperature drops. And it was made in Taiwan, so yeah, I trust it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
have a size on it.
I
I'd
like
say
a
probably
nice.
quarter.
I like a nice quality. What do you call that? Like Shop Air airline hose. I'm drawing a blank.
Flexzilla. You
Yeah.
want the Flexzilla one. You know the one I want? Apex has a really nice, like, 35-foot manual reel. It's all like CNC stuff, quarter inch. I think it's like nylon braided hose. Looks soft and flexible. It's like $250 for this reel. But man, is it nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That I think when I have the truck set up, I'm gonna have nice air drops, which kind of leads me to my next point, or next question here is for running airlines down the truck, right? So from compressor to tank, and from tank to quick disconnects. What do you like for airline?
I really like that nylon one touch fitting,
Yeah.
as long as it's sized appropriately.
Yeah.
But you're probably going to be okay with quarter for just about everything you do,
Yeah.
unless you're going to run an air tool. If you ever think you're
Yeah.
going to run an impact or something, I would run probably half inch from your tank
Yeah.
over to your chuck. And the chuck's going to neck it down, but like you get a pressure drop over distance and you need to utilize the air, what little air you have, as efficiently as possible because it's going to drop. Pressure is going to drop the minute you pull the button. Like you're going to want it upsized.
Yeah, I don't anticipate using any air tool. I actually don't even own any air. I think I own like a die grinder, maybe, that I've used once off of air. I'm kind of all E these days.
Yeah, I was like the last of the mechanics to come in before electric stuff kind of got decent. So
Yeah.
I got all my air tools, but now I'm starting to get into electric. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I still run across mechanics, job to job, who have like not bought in to like buying an 18-volt Milwaukee.
you know what, man? You give me an air impact versus an 18-volt Milwaukee, and have me change tires at a dealership all day. I still think I'm carrying around the air impact.
So I agree with in a shop, and I think that the air is a lot less rattly in the hand and
Yes.
I always thought it hit a little bit harder, which translated into less into your
Yes.
wrist. And doing that all day, I mean that was my OG job, Sears tire tech, back in high school. Changed a
Yeah. Well,
bajillion.
yes. So the big Milwaukees, they're heavy, man. Like to go around. Think of like the 3/4 ton, 1 ton diesel truck, 8 lug, going around those with that big ass impact, and they're coming off slow. Like, I can take my little half and pop them off. It's yeah. I want air. I think they're lighter too. Like I can throw. What is
Yeah.
it? Harbor Freight has a 3/8 impact for what, $65 or something on sale. I don't know
Shoot,
what it
I don't
is.
even
It's
know.
cheap.
I'm so removed from air tools. I don't even know what's out there. I don't even know what you would want air for. I mean, I think the only air tool that I've used in the last year has been a nail gun, and I have just used it with a little pancake.
Which is fine.
Yeah. But yeah, so okay,
Yeah.
what do we have? Pressure switches, tank moisture we've talked about. I guess we can talk about why you would want onboard air. 'Cause there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So having it, like when I first got it, I was strictly thinking just inflating tires and maybe use an impact every now and then or a blow gun someplace just to blow dust off the back of the truck, which actually is really really nice. Like when it rains, tent's kind of wet.
Yeah.
Before I pack it up, just get out and blow the side of it off. It's been nice. But dude, air horns, I'm telling you, air horns are where it's at. I actually just got a lady this week with the air horns. Different story though.
Yeah. I think
The airbags have been a big deal too. Like putting
Yeah.
them on the truck and having. So you can put airbags on without having onboard air. They've got like the little Schrader valves. You
Yeah,
can stop
yeah.
at a gas station, fill them up, move on with life. But having onboard air and then being able to set regulators and adjust my truck as I go has been a big deal.
Yeah, why don't we take a minute here actually and talk about airbags? I feel like this is a good episode to throw that
Yeah.
in with. Um, First of all, I think that airbags are among the most misunderstood modifications and tools in all of overlanding and truck ownership. I think that number one, they're so overcomplicated when people talk about them. They act like it's some unobtainable thing that they can't do. And it's like, brother, it's just it's a balloon that you bolt onto your axle.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think so that's my next one, and that's why I'm installing the onboard air, obviously for tires, but I want to run airbags. I've been towing a lot more with the Yukon than I anticipated, which is kind of fun, I guess. That's what I bought it for. It's a lot less lame to have big tow mirrors and a big block if you actually tow with it, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But I'd really like to have airbags because I would like to keep the factory suspension on the truck. So without going down a big other path, that truck has really cool electronically valved shocks from the factory, which is pretty neat for being that old. And they work really well. They tow really nicely too. But to support a little bit of extra weight, especially with the lift that's on it, I would like to run airbags. And airbags are awesome because you can bring your truck back to the geometry that it operates the best at without making your suspension suck 100% of the other time when you're not loaded up heavy.
Yeah. So this last night, I went up to Green Ridge, did some camping, was scavenging all the other campsites for firewood, and as I'm going, hauling ass through Green Ridge, hitting potholes and stuff, I start feeling the back of the truck bottom out. I stop, another turn on the regulators, it picked it up like 3 inches. Never had a problem the rest of the trip. Like
Yeah,
I could just adjust the ride height for the load as I was going, and it still rode nice. You know?
yeah, that's cool. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I got bit by one of them Bill Gates mosquitoes and it changed my, what I wanted to do here or what. But I have the itch to do like really off the wall techie stuff as projects. I think because all of like the off roady stuff is pretty much done. Like I don't really want any more in that front. Um, but with my airbags, I really want to run manual dump valves independently. Um, this was like really popular if you were in the stance world in the
Yep.
tuner phase of things. Now, why would you want this? Well, there's like
I've been
two
debating
things.
this
There's
actually.
there's
So
two
like,
things that come to mind for me. The first one is if I ever sleep in the truck, I can sleep anywhere. I can just dump one side and hit the other side and level the thing out however I want to be leveled. That's pretty cool. The second thing is, let's say that I suck on an obstacle and I don't have a tire on the ground and I want a tire on the ground. Well, I dump the high side and I hit the low side and it gives me a little bit more traction. That's pretty cool. Also, just dumping it for the hell of it. That's pretty fun too.
yes, yes,
Yeah, so that's my plan. I want to run it the way that you would have seen it in the mid 2000s with cars when they were running bagged setups. Just cause the truck's from that era, and I think it would be pretty fun. So that's going to be my plan to independently dump and fill the bags.
yeah. I use regulators. I so mine I think are actually worn out and they're very inconsistent. Like every time I get out of the truck now, it's leaning a different way, even if I don't touch them. So I probably beat them enough. But I like the regulators, especially like when we're in technical or rock crawling stuff, because as it compresses the bag, it makes more pressure in the bag, and then the regulator dumps the air, so it
Yeah,
keeps the truck lower in the rocks and maintains some up travel.
yeah,
But it's not like an immediate thing. It's like it keeps me up, it's flexing, and then if I get stuck, it'll kind of like sink down and like
it's
really put
actually
weight on it.
crazy. Like if you've never seen it, like wheeling with you actually is the very first time that I've ever been around the truck that actually wheeled and ran a bag setup. And it sounds like I don't know, like a Star Wars droid, over like real techie stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but you always have traction, always,
always.
and
Oh,
that is really cool. That
yeah.
is cool.
It's even. I'm trying to think. Did I ever run the bags with open diffs? I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did. The bags definitely went in after the lockers.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick your brain. We're gonna need to think tank it a little bit because I think I would I like the regulator a lot, but I also want the ability to be able to manually dump and fill, and I don't know how to interrupt that digitally or mechanically. I feel like it might be one or the other. I'm sure there's a way. I just can't think of it
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some spool valves and there's some trickery we could do to do different circuits where you could
Yeah.
have what you want, but then also run the regulators.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I mean really I guess honestly you could just run a 12-volt bypass and just bypass the regulators and then open the bypass and then run it through the regulators.
Yeah, more or
That would
less.
yeah.
Like
All
I
right.
got part numbers and stuff in my head that I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. We're on the
Solved
same
it.
page. Yeah,
Yeah, but so that's next. I'm actually buying stuff for that like tonight or tomorrow to
Oh,
get that project taken care of. So that's like a right nowish thing that I'd like to do because I want to finish that so that I can do some other stuff we'll talk about later. But yeah, man, I love airbags, and I think that a lot of overland rigs would really, really, really benefit from them, especially if it's your
yes,
daily driver.
yes. And make sure you get cradles with them too. So like,
Yes.
you know, uh, now since I'm bringing this up, there are was it Firestone kits I think
Hmm.
out there that have brackets and stuff that bolt into a vehicle. at least with mine, it left me like 2 inches of up travel that I lost. And if I had to go back and do it again, I would have just bought bags and made my own brackets and really picked the bags up as far as I could get them.
Yeah.
I still might make this modification, but having the bags open like that or up makes them taller, which is a bigger volume. So when it does compress, it's not compressing into a tiny space.
Yeah.
It's gonna make a bag spring rate more linear. And that's kind of like the downfall of bags is as they compress, they get harder. The pressure goes up, it gets harder, and you get that bounce with them. Where if you can build it to mitigate that stuff, the regulators, the tall bag, like it makes a world of difference in how it rides. And then you put the cradle underneath so the axle can fall away. Like you only need the airbag to hold you up to ride height. Maybe a little
Correct.
more.
Yes.
Anything more than that is just
Wasted
excessive.
spring rate.
Well, not only that, you're taking the structure of the ass end of the vehicle and changing it. Like instead of it going up through the front spring mount and the rear shackle and a leaf spring, or through the coil and the coil spring to the bucket, like you're doing it in the middle of the frame or someplace else.
Yeah.
It changes things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, and yeah, I think that it would be advantageous if you are going to install bags that you do consider the fact that air is a spring, and to your point, if your up travel consists of, well, the bag is already a pancake, and now you're trying to get more out of it, it's going to be a lot harsher. Whereas if it can be closer to free length at height, you're going to be a lot happier.
Yes, yes. It'll act like a really, really nice bump stop too. Like when you start jumping the thing, airbags are awesome.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is no, I can't believe people don't talk about that. I really can't, and I don't
I love it.
understand why.
Yeah.
It just seems
Th-
like such a logical modification to me, because you have these trucks that, you know, one weekend every 2 months they're overladen with a bunch of shit, right?
yeah.
And then the rest of the month they're just driving around normal. So what's your other option? It either is completely riding like shit and overloaded, um, with all your stuff in it, you don't have bags, or what are you gonna do? You're gonna throw crazy leaf springs in that are super heavy duty leaf springs, and it's great for those 2 weekends, and then it sucks. Driving a railroad tracks, tires bounce off the ground.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, man,
It's
just get bags.
Get bags. Bags are awesome. Like I know people who have done the heavy spring route, and like you're saying, it's great for when they're hauling or when they're loaded up. Outside of that, man, it sucks.
Yeah, my Frontier would actually really benefit from air.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would like to do that. It does need new leaf springs. I think when I do that, I will probably also run an air system in that as well.
I think you and I are running the same leaf springs, and I don't know that we need to shit on that company, but
You
I
know,
think they've been good springs. They've just settled more than I would have liked, but I've also put more weight on them than they were really rated for,
yeah.
too.
Well, I've been very hard on them, and
Same.
it's been 8 years now, which is actually kind of crazy. So that's pretty good. But I do believe that my passenger side has an actual structural bend to it, um,
Yeah.
and I think that not like in the arch, but actually, well, when I smashed that whatever and broke a wheel in that rally, I think that caused some undue stress to my leaf
Pissed
springs.
off the springs.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the mount is still in the same spot, but I do think, I don't know, something's going on there with that leaf spring that, it's time. Need something
Yeah.
else. Need me some Broverlands, or possibly the Parabolics, but that's a conversation for another episode.
But
Yeah.
while we're here and we're talking about aftermarket leaf springs, you need to look at the center pin of where your your spring links and stuff, because I know
Hmm.
when I went to these, it moved my rear axle forward almost an inch, and it put my 31s into the bedside.
Oh
So I
wow.
ended up
Yeah.
with Skies Off Road had a relocation bracket, and I was able to pull my axle back another, I think it was like inch and a quarter,
Yeah.
which put dead center of the wheel wells. I clear 33s barely,
Yeah.
but
I never thought of that. That's interesting.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
You know, it's
Just
funny.
check it.
It's
That
funny
saves you from
actually.
cutting your fender, from
Yeah.
like that other guy
It's
we know.
well. What's funny is now that you say that, like I'm almost certain that my flip kit actually has adjustable slots for the where to put the pin. I use the middle on both sides, but yeah, I never really thought about that. I never even really considered that's what that was for. That makes
Yeah,
perfect sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
The other
that's
thing
cool.
you can do is like drill a new hole in the perch on the axle.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just got to make sure that it's the right size as the pin and that you did it the same on both sides. Otherwise, you get some rear steer. I've
So
done this. Apparently, the
get the
truck was like
quadra steer.
cramping real bad. Yeah, but
So what are some other cool things we can do with air? How about man? How about water?
so the water thing is cool. Um, Once you start playing with pressures of things, you can realize like you can move a lot of stuff with it. Like compressed air is a utility; it will do work. So if you put, well, let's see, most of your house pressures are what, 60 psi, between 40 and 60
40 and
psi.
60. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's what a well pump kicks on and off at. So if you put 50 psi in a tank that has water, anywhere you open it up will have 50 psi on it. So
yeah,
you will get basically house pressure out of your tank, whatever that is. Like I've got the 5 gallon TMU plastic tank. It should hold 50 psi, I would hope. Um,
it's
if not, it'll
it's
be
stored water.
spectacular. Yeah,
Yeah,
but after I just got done saying don't pressurize plastic, but
yeah. Can I just pressurize my milk jugs? Start throwing nipples in the cap of my
so
milk.
actually, man, I was working at the hobby shop, and they have air retracts in model planes, and we needed a tank for this C-130, and we could get like spun aluminum, but they were expensive, and then you had to get into welding the bungs onto them, whatever. And I was like, guys, why can't we just drill out the cap of like a Mountain Dew bottle and pull a valve stem through and put a tire chuck on it? And they were like, it'll blow up. I promise you, I can put shop air in a Mountain Dew bottle and it will hold it.
Yeah. Listen, gotta make you can use a 2 liter and make yourself a nice little sandblast gun. It works pretty well.
Yeah, they do good.
Yeah. But no, I think water is a pretty cool utility. It's not for everybody. And
No,
actually I don't think it's for most people. I think if you
no.
are less an off-roader and more a camp and park and hike and the kids are with you, then I think that makes a lot of sense. Um, for the solo off-roader overlander, you probably don't have the room or want for a big water tank in most cases. If you have like a bed camper, you probably do have some extra space. So it's really it's all what you want. Like in the Yukon, maybe in the Frontier, no. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Like, I've got the bed camper and I've already got the air. I'm going to power my water with air, you
yeah,
know? But it's also one of those things, too, where, like, I have yet to come across an air system that is 100% airtight. So it's going to leak down, So I'm at camp for 5 hours, haven't run the truck. I don't have any water pressure. Like, I'm going to have
yeah,
to fire the truck back up. But if you were running one of these electric pumps, like one of the ones where you just take the inlet and throw it down in the stream, like they draw a little bit of power too. You're going to want the vehicle running. So,
yeah.
I don't know that it's a big drawback, but it's definitely, I don't know, it's worth noting, you know.
Right, right.
But,
Yeah, that's what else? What else could we use the air for? I've seen some
let's
that I
see.
like. I like. You mentioned it earlier, but uh, just simply an air gun to blow stuff off of things.
Yes, yes.
Once you do it and see it, Like, wow, that's really, really helpful. And it is. It's really nice.
Yes, it's really nice when you're like in the gumbo mud and break a CV. Like you would be surprised how much air will blow mud and stuff out of the way, and then you come through with a couple of rags, and so much easier to do a trail repair.
Yeah. Yeah. Even, like you said, just clean your tent off before you pack it away. You're going to be able to take care of your stuff a little bit better.
Yep.
Inflating things that aren't tires. I have taken a liking to some of these new outdoor camp furnitures that are inflatable. I've totally am putting I'm putting this big ass futon in the Gazelle. It's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be the camo casting couch.
Mike, I can't say this. I don't have to. You already know.
Yeah, I mean, if you got an air mattress, right? It's one less thing you got to bring with you. It's already installed in your vehicle. Have you seen those? Have you seen those inflatable
Girlfriend?
tents? Yeah, if you got one of those, you can inflate one of those. Um, Man, I've been seeing these inflatable tents for overlanding. I don't think that that's a very good idea. But man, if you're base camping somewhere for like an extended period of time, they look pretty sweet,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
They look pretty cool. Some of them have like stoves and shit in them. I mean, it could be pretty fun. Could be a good time.
I would kill for a wood stove in my camper.
There's that guy with the OBS Ford that has that. What's his name? Truckhouse Life. Truckhouse Life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The guy
Yeah.
rocks. That's really cool.
Have you seen the? There's a guy running around in like a first gen Dodge. It's a short bed. He's got like a slide-in camper in the back of it that pops, kind of like Max's setup, but like period correct for that.
Yeah.
He's got a wood stove in it.
That's cool. That's really cool. I would love that. They sell those
Yeah.
little stainless ones that
Looks
seem
like an
pretty
ammo
sweet.
can.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if you have to be careful with those for like hex chrome. Yeah, I don't know. Or is that galvanized?
Galvanized, the one you can't burn, puts off
Yeah.
toxic fumes. I think
That's right.
stainless is safe.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know if you weld stainless in an enclosed space, what is it? Is it hex
I know
chromium? Or I don't know. There's two in there. I'm supposed to know this. I
Yeah.
get paid to know this. Might be, but
Proper ventilation.
yeah, proper ventilation.
PPE.
But, so I'm trying to think. What are some other cool things we could use air for?
Rams. Open doors. Closed doors.
Ooh.
Pick up a vehicle. Air jacks. Um, I
Dude,
mean,
an air
how can we
jack
not?
would be pretty cool.
I don't understand why somebody hasn't taken one of these big ass like crawler air shocks and just put feet on them and an air chuck. It
So
just
doesn't Harbor Freight sell big Rams like that with air chucks? I think they do, man.
maybe I had to look at it. You know what else I like? I've considered carrying one of these. Beaver, the Chinese reseller of
Yeah,
everything.
makes everything.
Yeah, yeah. They have what looks like a 12 by 12 metal plate with two handles and like a 3 bellows airbag as the jack.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I think it would compress down really small. It would weigh half as much as one of those Badland wheeled things. You wouldn't have to worry about having the mounting plate, for mud or anything. It'd just be there, and you just
Yeah.
hook the air to it.
So
Up it goes.
that's actually really popular for fire and EMS. And I can't remember the name of the manufacturer that makes it for most EMS, but they work really well. and they're really fast. And it's actually amazing how high you can lift something with low pressure. Like those bags
Yes.
don't see a ton of pressure, but
20
it's
pounds
volume.
max.
It's something like that, yeah. Um, and yeah, you can lift a truck.
Yeah.
So,
You can
you know,
push a vehicle off, like, you got sliders up against a wall or something, you can't turn. You can get behind it on the
yep,
wheel and
it's
slide it
exactly where
over.
I was going. Yep. I actually bid on a EMS variant of that on a local auction. There was a Cranberry Township Fire and EMS was selling off a bunch of their stuff, and I bid on all kinds of things. And I was a day late on when I thought that it ended. So the only thing that I won was something I didn't really even care to win. But I did bid on that air system, which I really wanted, and from that manufacturer, it's all American made. It comes with a self-contained tank, so that you literally just run out, throw it down, open the ball valve, and the thing inflates. It's awesome.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, it's very
I
cool.
didn't even think about that. Yeah, you could inflate a tank. You could
Yeah.
probably put 150 in a half-gallon tank and do it.
Yep, it's got regulators with needle valves, and then you just throw air to it, and it lifts it right off of whatever. Use it for cribbing. And from the manufacturer, those things are like 2-3 grand. And I
Yeah.
was winning with a bid of like $25 or $26, and I missed it, and it sold for 27. Some guy got
Damn.
that thing for $27. Yeah,
What a steal.
he got a steal. Who knows what that person was going to use it for? But hopefully, it gets good use. So
Yeah.
I
I've
just
never used one of those airbag jacks, like the Beaver ones I'm talking about. So if
yeah,
somebody does, like, let me know. If it
yeah.
goes bad, I also want to know.
Yeah. Potato guns. Airing up a potato gun. That's a good one for
Bead
onboard air.
blaster. Bead blaster.
Oh yeah.
That's what a
I know.
potato gun is. You just change the barrel.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, we've had tires debead, and I think having that on the truck, like, yeah, it's fun. It's a novelty thing, but it's a safer way of putting a bead back on. Walk over
That
to
is
it, pull the
true. I
trigger.
didn't really even think of that, but that's a really good point. Um, yeah. Yeah, that gets into like the how much stuff you really want to carry. But
Yeah.
like
You can all.
I
You can
feel
also
if
shoot a
you
potato.
I was
At
gonna
your
say,
buddies.
if you
So
convince yourself like, well, this is a potato gun, it's hilarious. It becomes
yeah,
a lot more. It becomes a lot more worth it when you take the barrel off and be like, oh, I guess I can pop my tire back on.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see
But
what else. There's all
the
kinds of
Rams
things.
are something that, like, I think is totally underutilized. Like, how many people have some sort of camper set up where they build it out with like 80/20 on the inside? You can get little Rams and, like, have your coffee pot come
Cheap.
up out of the counter cheap. Have it regulated, a flow control on it. It come right up and set down so nice. You'd never have any issues with it. Man, just
Yeah.
side doors. How cool would it be to, like, show up at camp and be like, camp mode, hit the button, and your solenoids all go off and your doors open on their own. Tet pops up, open it. Like, you could do this with air. It would be
Yeah.
totally feasible. I
And
think.
I think it'd be easier actually with air than it would be with motors.
Oh,
'Cause
100%. And it would be
motors you have
silent too.
Yeah, because motors you have to worry about the joint that it's actuating, but a ram is just in and out.
Yep, yep. I kind of would like to do this on the camper, like the wedge part of it is just put
Yeah.
an air ram on it, because, like, the air's going to stay on it. It's going to hold
Yeah.
it up. Like, I don't have to put that pole inside the. That's like a safety thing. Like, I'm not worried about it collapsing with the gas shocks, but, like, a branch falls out of a tree or something. Like,
Yeah. Right. Right.
I try to have some sort of little safety thing there.
Yeah. Man, I'm just sitting here thinking about all the neat things that could be done with a ram. Um, yeah, I really like that. I like that idea. I would like that as a jack a lot. I think. I'm just trying to think of. I know they exist. I'll just have to explore that. Um, but that's actually an issue that I'm running into right now with the Yukon. Is it's very hard to jack up with a compact jack. Like I have the biggest bottle jack from I think it's the Daytona. It's the biggest bottle jack, and it just gets the front end off the ground so I can change the tire. Not really that nice to use, and I literally my setup is so hacky. I part of my drive shaft. Remember the drive shaft that I destroyed?
Yeah.
The backside of the yoke.
We're straight.
Well, it's like the 4-bolt piece that would go over the U-joint.
Universal. Yeah.
Yeah. So that fits perfectly. There's like a perfect circle in there that fits over top of the foot of the jack that becomes like a 4-pin base that works really nice on the frame.
Nice.
But
Nice.
I mean, and I need that for the extra height because even fully unscrewed, I still don't have enough height with it. And I like using bottle jacks, but I'm running out of room to lift the damn thing up. So, yeah, man, if I could use a Ram and I'm gonna have onboard air, man, that would be slick.
Yep. Yep. I kind of run into the same issue with my Tacoma. Like, I have to lift it with a high lift jack. The rear just has so much flex in it, so much down travel that I can't get anything under it. It's
Yeah.
like my shock mounts have all been moved. Like, if I can catch the pumpkin with a jack, I can pick up the whole ass end. But to hit anywhere else, I just don't have a lot more left and
Yeah.
up on the jack. Like, I've thought about actually putting bolts on the frame and the rear axle to like chain it up when I go to jack it up so it doesn't fall away like
Yeah.
race car shit.
Well,
Just
have
with a
you
duct tape
seen?
chain.
Have you seen like pre-runners? That's how they run. They have
Yeah.
air rams on the truck, and they're permanently mounted. I don't think I would do that. I don't think, but I think maybe I would install a bracket, maybe, or maybe just have feet on either end. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to look at that, but I do want to do that. I think that that's a pretty sweet mod to run with onboard air. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
What else? Connections. This is an
Oh,
important
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So, guys, there's a pile of different air connections out there. Standardize it. Go to Harbor Freight. There's guaranteed to be a Harbor Freight now. Like, they're pretty much every city, right? Every town,
Yeah.
every city. Like, somebody's got a Harbor Freight within an hour of them.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm tired of the jokes. The Harbor Freight shit's good to go 90% of the time. Like, obviously, they sell some stuff that's not good. But honestly, the majority of it is perfectly serviceable for whatever you're doing.
Yes. Or it's cheap enough that it doesn't matter how long
Right.
it lasts.
Right.
So, yeah, Harbor Freight. Standardized, go to an industrial fitting, and then look for universal female ends. And these will take, there's a couple different industrials, there's an automotive, I think there's one called ARO. There's some high flow stuff. Like if you get hold of this is dumb. Smittybilt, for whatever reason on their pumps, run a high flow connection, and it's
Okay.
kind of like it flows way more than the pump could even dream of producing. So it's kind of one of those things where they're just locking you into the connector so that you
Yeah.
can't hook it up to anything else. But
Yeah.
that's crap. Like, make it open source. Give me something common, you know? So if you have one of these, you'll see it's like a cone looking thing. Looks nothing like anything else. You don't want it. Don't even buy that pump because you're going to play hell trying to get that fitting to do anything else for you.
Yeah. I think I do kind of like the high flow lines. I want to say I have 5/8 in the garage, high flow, and it works nice for like the air gun to dust stuff
Yes.
off with. It's like an extra oomph. So that might be something to consider.
Yeah, yeah. They have their place. It's just not on tire pumps.
Yeah.
You know, not some proprietary-ish thing. Like, I firmly believe Smittybilt put that fitting on just to make life difficult. Like there's no practical engineering reason for them to use that fitting in that application.
Yeah. Yeah. What about? Here's something that we haven't talked about. You know, one of the things that I see that I don't want to say chuckle at, but I do. I chuckle a little bit. Someone will have like a single piston compressor, whether it's a Vallair or Harbor Freight or ARB, really even the little dual piston. And they'll have 35s or 37s. And I see them open the hatch of the truck and they pull out one of those big octopus 4-tire inflators. And I'm like, damn. that's that's a lot for that little compressor.
So I made a lot of these and sold a lot of these, and they have a use. I think that if you're looking, like for me with lockers, tire pressure is a big deal, side to side. The way an air system works is pressure will equalize through the whole system once flow stops. So you can set your tire pressures, either all 4 of them identical,
Yeah.
get it up to whatever it is, close the valve, let everything equalize, pop chucks off, and they will be 100% equal through them all. You can do this front to back. You know, I'll run. I've been running like 5 pounds less in the front tires than the back now with the camper. So I'll pop the front off once I'm happy with them and let the back keep going.
Right.
But I see people use them to air down too, and I think that's just a waste. It's a big tangled up mess of
It's a lot of
hoses.
time.
Like,
Yeah.
it is. It's a pain in the ass, and I've done it both ways. Of like, man, I could read a gauge, just put it on the same number side to side, you know, and it's like I can go around. But I've also got an air chuck in the back and an air chuck in the front. I can carry a short little hose. Like, it's convenient. So I don't know. I think if you're running an auto locker, they make a lot of sense. Or if you're running like all-wheel drive, you know, like a full-time four-wheel drive setup, like getting your tire pressures the same all around is important.
Yeah, I guess I think if you're running onboard air and you have a good sized tank, I don't think it's any quicker to inflate all 4 at the same time either.
Okay, so technically it shouldn't be. All right, but you're getting into some efficiency stuff, and we're really like splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
So you're running the pump longer at a lower pressure, which should provide more CFM. But it's either 4 from 15 to 30 or 4 at one time from 15 to 30. So, like, you're doing the same thing. The same amount of energy should come out. I don't think you're gaining any speed advantage with these, either inflating or deflating. It is strictly I know my tires are at this pressure all the way through or on this axle.
Yeah. And if you have a 5-gallon tank and a 100% duty cycle compressor that can move some pretty serious air, just go around the truck 1-to-1. By the time you undo your things and glue them back together, you probably would have been done already doing them one at a time. That's my opinion on it. But like you said, if you have an all-wheel drive setup, it probably is pretty important that the pressure is equalized across the system. I have no problem with that. And that does
my locker's sensitive to it. I can tell if I get more than about 3 or 4 pounds off side to side, the one tire is smaller, and it will constantly pull. Like, I'll go around a corner and I'll not feel the power transfer go to the inside. It'll still be driving that outside tire.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really weird feeling when I notice it.
Yeah. That makes sense. What about CO2? Ever see that?
You know,
like those little
I
kits?
have. You know, I had a buddy that had these scuba tanks sitting in the bushes at his house, like all through high school, and I finally asked him about it, and that was my first like onboard air thing, was these old scuba tanks, and I ended up just one of these hoses actually just screwing into it, and I was regulating it with the valve as I was inflating tire. I ended up blowing the hell out of one of those hoses in the middle of the night. But they work really well. It's dry air. It's basically it's a portable air tank. Like, you can take an impact and run out through the woods with it. But it's only going to last so long, and it's not like you're going to inflate it or recharge it.
Yeah, right.
Like, you're going to take it someplace. You're going to run past and be buddies with the fire department or scuba place. Or who else fills those tanks? Like, maybe a welding shop.
Yeah, I always I know that was like the biggest hang up in the world when I played paintball, was finding somebody to fill CO2 compressed air tanks. Yeah, all the poor kids ran CO2 and all the rich kids ran HPA.
Yeah.
Which sounds so ass backwards, but that's how it was. But yeah, man. So, anything else you can think of to add to air? I know my gears are just spinning on. I really want to get this project underway. I'm very excited for it.
Controls. I haven't talked controls. Got some solenoids and
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
That's one of those things where you're looking at orifice size too, depending on what you're doing. Like, an air horn, you want all the volume and all the pressure through to get all the sound, But I actually did this. I bought a solenoid and I didn't pay attention to what the hole size was, and got it all plugged up, and I hit the button for the horn. It was like, "Arr." It was the most shittiest, weakest sounding horn you ever heard. What else? There's it's like some electrical ball valves that are nice. That's actually what I would use to dump air. They're just so robust, and they're not going to clog. So if you're doing that, it's probably where you want to go.
Yeah, I'll have to look at. I forget the manufacturer. It was a U.S. manufacturer because I was dealing with fuel. I wanted something really nice, and this was a 12-volt actuated solenoid, and it has been excellent in the truck. And I'd like to see if they make anything for air as well, because the quality of that thing was really awesome, and the Frontier hadn't blown up, so.
That's an electric ball valve.
Okay.
So, 2-wire hookup, red, black. Once you turn this on, I forget whether it's normally open, normally closed. You can buy them either way, but once it's on, like, it runs and then draws almost no power. So it's not like a solenoid that's sitting there drawing amperage the whole time. It'll go to like a sleep state.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool.
So that would be good for like your airbags. You're talking about dumping them, ignition. You fire the thing up, compressor kicks on, the ball valves close, going down the road, get wherever, shut it off, does it automatically.
Yeah. That's cool.
And being a ball valve, that'll be a half-inch hole, whatever it is. It'll be a big-ass hole, so you'll get that big rig, like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That would actually also be hilarious.
Yes!
I mean,
yes.
That would be fun. There would be, like, 50% of the people, actually 80% of the people would have absolutely no idea what was happening and why that truck was doing that. Of the remaining 20%, 5% would think that was awesome, and the other 15% would think that you're an asshole. But that's usually how it is anyway, so it's okay.
Yes. You know what I've been wanting to do? You know how I keep playing with these Bluetooth relays?
Yeah.
I really, really, really wanted to put my air horn on a Bluetooth relay so I can be sitting around a campfire and be like,
So let's get into future projects in a minute. But before I move on, do you have anything else for air?
Man, I don't think so. Covered everything on the notes, right?
Yeah, I think so. So I have a pretty cool tech tip, and this is not my tech tip. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. We're gonna pop over to Facebook here. So can everybody see that?
Yeah, I
Am
can
I,
see it.
am I not in the, hold on here. Let me switch over to the page here. We're not looking at GMTs here. Hold on. So this is really cool. This is going to be one of the guys who went ahead and he tested all of the ball joints, upper and lower ball joints, from a couple of different manufacturers, and it is really sweet. Let me see if I can find the.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. Let me see if I can find the post here. I thought that I had saved it, and I didn't. Here we go. Okay, so this is Matthew Drew. So what Matthew did was he took a bunch of ball joints and he cut them apart. So we have TTX, Moog's Problem Solver, AC Delco, and SKP. And those were for lower joints. And he found some really interesting things. So he opened them up, he took calipers to him, and he just investigated, okay, what are these things made of? And are these decent or are these junk? And what he found was that the Moog Problem Solver for a lower ball joint was pretty good. Had metal cups, had a spring-loaded upper clip, and it was a common design. However, it was smaller than the TTX. He noted that the TTX had the biggest ball and cup sizes. It had a hard powdered metal cup, a spring-loaded lower cup, and it had 25 degrees of travel, which was the most travel out of any of the balls that were tested. The Moog had 23.6 degrees of travel. AC Delco was one that he liked. It had a unique design because it had slots in the ball. Let me see if I can pull that up here. So if we look at the AC Delco, hold on here. See how the AC Delco has what kind of looks like a grease channel?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually very similar to what Icon does on their Delta joints.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty interesting. I would guess that that carries grease and maybe traps some dirt. I don't know. But
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But it seems to be a pretty solid design. That one also had 26 degrees of travel. So that actually was the highest rate. That was actually 1 degree higher than the TTX. So that's pretty cool. And then
So
there
I
was-
actually-
Go ahead.
I actually don't like that it's got the cuts in it. So in my head, like, you're talking film strength, right?
Yeah.
So if you're giving space for grease to go, the grease can't stay stuck between the metal pieces you're lubricating. It's going to go down into that slot until it's packed clean full, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think
and then
it-
I guess
I
it's like
think
it's not even there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think it thins down the film thickness near the edges. I don't know how far out it goes, but I would think you'd want as much film, grease film there as possible. So,
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting. I would like to talk to someone that understands the
Yeah.
design feature of that. It seems
I think it's like cutting slots into like camshaft bearings, like, I've seen people do either oil it more. But,
yeah,
that's a pressurized oil system. We're talking grease. I don't know.
yeah. So SKP was a very interesting one. It didn't have a spring, and it had a one-piece plastic cups. Let me see if I can pull the SKP up here. Let's see, this is kind of hard. That's the SPC. We'll talk about that in a minute. Maybe we don't have. Okay,
it
here's
is.
the SKP lowered. Yeah, so that does
Yeah, it
look
is.
kind of cheap. Does look pretty cheap.
Should I know who
I don't know.
SKP is? I've never heard of SKP.
So I don't either. I've only heard of SKF.
That's who I was thinking. It's like, is this a typo?
This might be like, Ling Long Lionheart of ball joints, but looking at that, I would not be interested. Yeah, like I don't know that I want to run. I don't know what this plastic bit is there, but I'm not interested in running that at
No,
all.
No, whoever
Uh,
assembled that was definitely not in their sandals that day.
No, no. So we also tested, and by we, I mean not me, this was Mark, also tested and looked at some upper joints. So here's one that, dude, this pisses people off. This is like an oil pressure, or an oil debate here. And this is the greasable ball joint from SPC.
Which
So
is the
it
old
has,
style.
it is the old style, and it has a very, very large ball, a plastic upper cup, which is reasonably typical. It's spring
Yeah.
loaded, but he did note that he thought the spring was pretty flimsy as compared to other ball joints. And this sample that he showed here was actually very heavily worn, and the spring was actually broken inside of it. He believed that that was a pretty weak design. I have seen a lot of people seem to report issues with the greasable SPCs. And looking at what I'm seeing here, and I'm seeing all of the pitting on that ball, I think that the common denominator is if you did not keep up with keeping all the grease in that SPC joint, it wasn't going to last.
So I went 6 years on both of those joints before I had issues, and I was greasing them quite often.
And that was me as well. And I'm looking at this like, look at all that pitting. Uh, I don't believe that was probably not well taken care of. Would be my
I'd agree with you.
best guess. I don't know how old it was. Um, and you know what, I probably have 3 or 4 of these that I just, you know,
Yeah,
like
I've
before
both
any
of
of the
mine are in the
rallies.
truck.
Before any of the rallies, I just replaced them, so I have brand new ones. Because they're easy to change. I don't think I've ever cut any apart. Maybe I should cut some apart and see what my trail spares look like. But I would wager that they don't look like that. One thing that I did run, and I believe SPC specs it out, is they request that you run a high moly grease. I think the reasoning behind that is that the moly is a very small molecule and it does a very good job at filling in small imperfections in materials. And judging by the imperfections in this guy, it probably could have benefited from something that was slippery versus just metal in a plastic cup. Um,
Did
what
they
else do
do
we
any
have?
angle specs on that? On the uppers?
I think so. Let me see what he said here. Uh,
There it is.
yeah, I do think that this point here, where he says that one hit in this and it could break the spring and it's going to be floppy, I think that's probably true. And one of the things that I see a lot of times that I've noticed is guys that run these things at a really high angle seem to kind of report maybe some issues. Guys that run them at a lot more of a neutral angle, it seems to be less of an issue. So maybe something to keep in mind. It doesn't look like there is a degree that was listed for the SPC, but we do have it for the OEM Nissan, which is, let's see here, and for anyone that's not online here, we do have some images here, so you'll be able to see that on YouTube and Spotify and I think Apple. So this is an OEM Nissan, so that should be made by Hitachi probably, if I'm not mistaken. And that looks like a pretty solid piece. It does not have a spring. 28 degrees of travel, and that was actually the highest measured of all of the uppers. It's very interesting.
So
What's m-
it's. I was going to. I was curious what the SPC angle was because of what you're saying. I see people go through these things, but I don't think that they're all used the way that they should be. Like, so people will go out and buy an aftermarket upper control arm and a set of struts. They put these things on, and it's aftermarket. They might be, I don't know what, half, 3/4 of an inch overall length longer.
Yeah.
Well, that moves your down travel limiter that much farther, and
Right.
your upper control arm is shorter than the bottom. So when it's going down, you might get, what are you going to see? I'm throwing a random number out. 3 degrees on the lower control arm, more down travel, down rotation.
Yeah,
You
possible.
might
Yeah, I mean,
see, for the sake of arguing here, you might see 6 or 7 on the upper control arm. Like that added down travel adds a lot more to the upper control arm than what you realized. And I think that there is some suspension setups out there that over travel that upper ball joint, which damages it and starts getting play into it prematurely. And it doesn't matter how much grease you put into it or how robust it is, it's going to fail because the ball joint should not be your travel limiter. Like you need to put limit
right.
straps on at this point and
Right.
bring your lower control arm back up so that you're not limiting it by the ball joint. There is
Correct.
no ball joint in existence that will survive as the travel limiter.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Even hind joints and spherical bearings.
Yes.
You're eventually going to run into issues there as well. They're going to be a lot more tolerant of it, but still, you're operating them in a direction that they're not supposed to operate. So, yeah, I find it very interesting that these plastic cups and their design. It's pretty cool. We also did have Moog. Here's that Tacoma Delta joint. Looks very similar to the AC Delco design. Where's that upper here? Hold on. But the Moog overall, the Moog was a 26 degree of travel from the upper. Had hard metal cups, top and bottom. It had 26 degrees of travel, and the construction was rated overall to be a good joint. So I really appreciate Matthew going through the trouble of doing all that. That's very
Yeah.
cool. I don't think I've seen anybody do anything like that. So I'd like to send some love his way. That was pretty sweet. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I'm not at all surprised that the TTX was as robust as what it is. Like, they've been putting out good shit for us.
Yeah, and man, I'm telling you, I've been telling people don't sleep on them, and
Yeah.
it's nice to see that
OEM
it's
Plus.
backed up. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Like, the
it's
end user
nice to
is
see it's
seeing
backed
bigger
up.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
nice
did
that they're
also-
filling that niche part of, like, you've got your OEM style parts, and then it's like Heims, and they're in between. They're like better than OEM, or trying to be like OEM
Yeah.
plus. Like it's still going to be good on your daily driver, but it's going to be a little extra.
Exactly. So I also actually we do have a listener rig here as well. Check this guy out. So this is Thomas Johnson. Check out this LX350, man. It's a '97 LX350 triple lock with 488s. I see some Kenda MT2s on there, man. That is sick.
I want
like
80
that a
series
lot.
so bad. I need an 80 series in my life with an LS.
They're just one of the perfect, and like I can see from this picture, this is Fincastle. This is just a very cool rig. I
That's
love 'em.
Fincastle? Are you sure?
Yep. Yeah, oh yeah, that's the rocks. I'm pretty sure, right? Gotta be. Isn't
I
that
don't
the?
think so.
Is
It
is
doesn't
this
go to the
big
left.
line?
No, there's no cliff behind it. That is not Fincastle.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. If it was, there'd be a big old cliff back here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. This
We're
rock
bad
just
as
looks
fishermen.
familiar.
We're like, man, there's a cool rock. Where's it at? Look at the background.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. That is not Fincastle. Also, nothing of this size is climbing on that rock that's on this side. That rock's
Yeah.
huge. It's
Yeah.
like bumper high.
It
So,
kind of looks like Big Levels, but it's not Big Levels either.
oh yeah, the one where I assaulted my sliders.
Dude, yeah, you did that, and then I was in the back of that trip, and I think I was behind Aaron, and he went around the bypass, and I went up. I had Seth with me, and we pulled up to that, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going over this or not. We'll see what happens. And I like pulled the front tires up on it and went. And when it started to come down on the other side, I popped out the door and looked, and I was like, I don't know, I had about a foot to go before the slider would like slide up on the rock and the rear tire would catch. So I
Yeah.
backed up until the front went down. I was like, Seth, hold on. Threw it in second, revved it up, and just sidestepped the clutch and threw it across. The front came down in that sand, and I just dug back and forth and like walked it across the rocks and went over. It's awesome. Scared the shit out of them. Then I about rolled it later out of boredom. But yeah,
we
that was badass.
That was cool. I actually just saw that Matthew actually just hopped into the live here. He actually said that the SPC was so clapped that he wasn't even able to measure
Oh,
it.
nice.
And that thing did look completely wrecked. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for
doing that.
coming in.
I appreciate you letting me throw that on the show. That was really cool. So I love when guys put a little bit of work like that in, and I think that'll help out
Helps the community.
a ton of people. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see inner tie rods done next. Because I had what did I have? I think it was Mevo Tech's non TTX line that I had used as an inner, and that one was not very good. Um, those the non TTX versions, like the base model Mevo Techs, not as robust. They're pretty okay for a daily driver, but the one that I had pulled out, it didn't survive me very well on the Frontier. But the stuff that I put on the Yukon has been great. Zero play boots look great, so it's nice to see this outcome. And I have all that stuff on the Yukon now. It makes me feel better because, like, truthfully, yeah, you put it in and the steering's all tight, but like you don't really know how it's built, until it
Yeah.
fails.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. But
A lot of
that's-
those like Moog, um, Mevotech, like the base model stuff, it's all Reebok stuff from whatever supplier they can get it from.
yeah.
Like I've seen, was it 555 ball joints in Moog boxes? Just be careful of it. Like, pay attention to what you're opening up and what boxes. Even if you're buying Amazon or eBay, there is so much counterfeit OEM stuff
Oh.
out there right now. Like,
Absolutely. I just had a
You
Fit
are-
Mobile One filter. Did you see that? I don't know if I have it. I don't know. I can't. I don't think I can say this. I destroyed it by adding another opening to it. I guess would be as a joke the other day. But I had it for a long time, and I've just found it on the shelf, and I was like, Frontier's due for an oil change, whatever. And I pulled the thing off the shelf. It's in a white box, Mobile One, M110, whatever. And I open
Right.
it up, and it's like shaking. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And the
check
the
valve in it.
check valve
drain
pressure thing, the drain back valve. The spring in the drain back valve was just rattling along inside. And then I'm looking at the thing, and I'm like, this is not a Mobile One filter. It had like 2 holes on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what the hell? And then I was like, you know what? I ordered this thing on Amazon, and it was a counterfeit filter. It was fake. So,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. Don't order your filters on Amazon.
I've been like really particular about filters lately. They either come from Walmart or the dealer.
Yeah,
Like, I've been buying OEM filters. I think the only other ones I really trust are the Napa Golds. They're
Yeah.
Wicks.
Wix, yeah, or they were. I don't know if they actually are anymore or not, but they were at one
Same
point.
part numbers. Yeah, they were at one point.
Yeah.
I think they just put a 5 in front of it for Napa, and then all the part numbers were the same.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So before we head out, any cool projects going on other than the big ones that are in progress?
No, I think I'm just waiting on winter right now. Another family stealth camping trip coming,
Yeah.
and this thing needs to run. I need some time to do carbs in that, try to get it sold. I put
Yeah.
fuel in it, and it just ran straight out the carbs, so the floats are stuck.
I have kind of a I don't know, a bit of a cavalier project that I would like to do. I was looking at old GM stuff just cause, and I was looking at old Bonnevilles, and I saw a video, and the guy was driving. He was just talking, and I saw his heads-up display. It just shows like speed.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, that's really cool. And then I got to thinking, like, that would be really handy. And there's just something so cool about that analog look. I really love that. And I'm like, well, I could probably do that. So I'm looking for. I'm probably gonna buy both and see which ones insides I can rob. But either the Corvette, like C5 Corvette, or the old Escalade. Their heads-up display, so that I can take the optical mirror setup out of it, and then I'll just 3D print my own. Because I want it to look like it's
OEM
supposed to
plus.
be there. But I also do not want to cut my dash, so it is going to be probably adhered to the dash. I'm not cutting the dash. But I
don't
don't
blame
want
you.
this. I don't want this big ugly gaudy thing there. But I think and I'm just throwing ideas out. But I think like a Raspberry Pi 4 to run it would be pretty cool. And then I think it would be really neat. Like show engine temp, trans temp, with speed, whatever. But since I'll program what I want it to do, I think it'd be really insightful to also have like just little pop-ups, like trans temp climbed. It's not like a problem, but just like, oh, it's not 180 anymore, it's 200. Wonder why? Just some things like that, and maybe not in those exact words, but make it a little bit like Kit, the Knight Rider, without
Yeah.
it being cheesy. I don't want it to be cheesy, but I think with all of the tech that's out right now, physically getting it to do all of that will be very simple. The hardest part will be the actual optical mirror, making it appear proper and not being a big gaudy block. I do not want the like an easy way to do it would be you get a little tiny micro projector and then throw it through what do they call it, like the collider mirror or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I think that would look like shit. But it would be doable. So that's a project that I would like to start on as well. I'm really really in a tinker mood, which is why the air thing is going to happen first. But yeah, that's on my to-do list. I think you're probably going to see over here some 3D printer going. I'm going to nut up and buy a 3D printer. I've always wanted one, and I think now's the time to get one.
Yeah, I'm envious. I need a 3D printer bad.
And at one point or some point, I'll put the sign up.
Yeah.
Need to mount the sign. Sign looks sick. I gotta figure out. I gotta make it not glare though. I don't need like. I don't even
Frost
know.
it.
Yeah, I think I need to do that on the back side of it a little bit because I can't reflect what's in front of me because then we can't be on Facebook or YouTube.
That happened the other week, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I guess I got I should have figured out. But yeah, I
You
should
okay,
frost
bud?
it. Should to do that? What do you think? Should I spray it? Is there like a spray that I should do on the back of it, or should I just sand it?
I would just wait till like November comes around and get some of that snow in a can and just dust the back of it.
Yeah, that's all I could think of was just dust the back of it with something
Yeah, yeah,
that would be a
yeah.
little bit translucent, so that because I'm gonna
Um,
backlight it and
I
well,
wonder what
edge
silver
light it.
would do.
Yeah,
You know, give it like that metallic look, and then you've got the decal over it.
yeah, yeah, and I'm
You're
gonna
backlighting it. You're
yeah.
not
So I
putting
have
light to
a
the side.
the sides. Yeah, so I have a drop box that I built. I just don't have it in yet, and I'm gonna light the
Yeah.
sides of it so it glows. But
Silver might be decent.
yeah,
You could do. You ever mess with that Duplicolor metal cast?
yeah. It's actually
It's really good.
I use the purple on my um, Heim steering. It actually does a really good job, but you have to do it on bare metal. It
Yes.
does not like anything but bare metal.
Yes. Clean too.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Uh,
I'd actually primered it, and it was like, "F you, I'm not. I will not adhere." So I had
Yeah.
to take
So
grind
that
it all
stuff
off.
is actually that stuff's actually two part. It has like a silver base coat that's supposed
Yeah.
to be laid down first for metallic, and then you do your transparent colors. Um, I know a lot of people making stuff that's they're just putting the transparent color down, but treating it like candy, and then they're like grinding stuff into the design
Yeah,
so it'll come through.
that's cool.
But I'm wondering whether you could do that like an RC car body, where you could paint like a
Oh,
candy
yeah.
red and then back it with whatever, and then you're gonna light it from the front.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to play
Actually,
around.
You might want to get RC car paint. Like,
Yeah.
well, I don't, that's Lexan.
Yeah.
Right? I
Oh,
don't know
dude,
what
I
their
have
sheet
a
is.
whole stash of Tamiya paint.
Oh, you're good to go
Yeah.
then. It's probably like when it was good too. It had like chemicals in it,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, anyway, thank you guys for hopping on, joining us. Matthew, thank you so much. I'm just gonna collect all my joints and send to you so you can cut them up. But appreciate you guys for listening. Appreciate you guys in the live. If you don't follow us, please do. We'll be coming at you next week live again to talk about
Friday.
yes, to talk about something. I think what did we say? Stealth camping? Did we do that already or no? I forget.
We have not. We can do some stealth camping.
That could be fun.
Yeah. What do y'all want us to talk about? Not
Yeah,
that we're
let
running
us-
out, but like,
Yeah, let us know.
we'll
We have a
appease
lot
our
of
fans.
yeah, we have a lot of ideas. But if you want to hear us, if you want to hear us argue, we can argue about something. That could be fun.
We haven't talked battery banks.
Yeah,
I think I was talking in Michigan that we were going to do that soon and haven't.
yeah, yeah. There's all kinds of avenues and pathways. So let us know. And yeah, guys. Until next time. Shiny side up, muddy side down. Stay rowdy.